My name is Ivy. I live with my mother-in-law. She teases me on a daily basis. I couldn't stand the bullying, so I was venting my stress by playing computer games. I don't want anything to do with her, so I do all my housework and quickly go to my room. Her behavior became worse after seeing this, and she even broke my computer. Will my relationship with my mother-in-law ever improve? I would like to ask people who live with their husband, how can I have a good relationship with my mother-in-law? When I think about it, I think she hated me from the start. I've given up hope that we could repair a relationship. Her husband died early from illness, and he left this house to her. Once I got married, I began to live in the home. I still don't know why my mother-in-law hates me. The first time we met, she looked at me up and down and said, "Oh my, you're wearing expensive clothes? I don't like that. My son will struggle if he marries someone like you. Well, I'll teach you how to save money." That's what she said. It's true that I was wearing expensive clothes that day, but that was because I wanted to look nice to meet Lincoln's family. I'm usually pretty frugal in my daily life. I was also pretty shocked to hear her say that. I was careful to wear something different next time we met. I wore less makeup and more casual clothing. Then she said, "Oh my, this time you look terrible. You need to be more serious about your appearance. You're making my son look bad." Her words shocked me yet again. I was too shy to speak about it, so Lincoln scolded her later. "Don't be so mean to the woman I love. Once we get married, you're going to have to live with her. Do you want her to hate you?" Then she said, "I'd rather have you stay single than live with her. You're wealthy and handsome. You should be able to find a better woman than her. Why did you have to bring such a mediocre woman home?" She tore my heart into a million pieces. Originally, my husband and his mother had been living together, and they planned to continue living together after he got married. This was because his mother forbade him from moving out. "How am I supposed to survive if you leave? Don't ever do something so heartless like send me money. I raised you, so you better take care of me until the end." That's how she told him. So I heard about her ever since things started getting serious between me and Lincoln, but I didn't realize how much of a monster she was back then. I became so depressed ever since the day we met. It's been a year since I started living with them, and I finally started to understand my mother-in-law. But this year has been hell for me, and I've always thought about wanting to escape. My mother-in-law would set rules, and I had to do all the housework and follow her rules. If I didn't follow the rules, she would complain non-stop. "Didn't you learn this from your mother? If you were really my daughter, I would have raised you right. I'm glad I raised my son properly, but he still failed by choosing you as his wife." She would always say things like this, and at first, I would cry about it every day, but now I've learned to ignore it. My husband is always busy working and comes home late every day. There aren't many days when all three of us are at home, so that's why she always says what she wants to me. "It must be nice sitting at home while my son works hard at his job. You don't have to worry about money or a place to live. You better be thankful that you can be a housewife, or you might regret it." I'm thankful every day without you having to tell me. I was so tired of hearing my mother-in-law, and I wanted to get a part-time job to escape her. It's really rough being stuck with her all day. Plus, my husband told me to do what I want. If I want to work, then work. If I don't, then do chores in the house. So I'm certainly blessed to be in this situation. But my mother-in-law still forces me to be a housewife because of her traditional way of thinking. "It's embarrassing for women to work. It could be seen that my son isn't making enough money. If you don't think about his image, you're a failure as a wife. Besides, you can't even do the housework well, so you're going to cause an inconvenience if you work. Think before you do it." After she said this, I gave up on finding a job and focused on the housework. I finally told my husband about this, and "If you're in that much pain, just do what you want and don't listen to my mom. I'll convince her if you do get a job." Even though my husband said that, he is so busy every day, I feel bad about forcing him to deal with my problems. I'm thinking of finding the right time to talk to my mother-in-law. However, if I start working, I have the feeling that my mother-in-law will demand more perfection with the housework. If I think too hard, I get a headache, so I think it's important to relieve my stress by playing games. But one day, an incident occurred. My mother-in-law saw me on my computer in my room, and she was plotting the unthinkable. After I finished all that housework, I had free time, so I went to my room to play games on my computer. My mother-in-law was secretly watching me. She was curious about all the tapping noises coming from my room. When I went out to buy groceries today, I found out that she had done something terrible. My mother-in-law broke my computer. I've always wondered what you did in your room all day. You were playing with those machines? If you have time for that, you should be cleaning the house or doing laundry. I had no choice but to destroy your computer. I did this for you, so forgive me. I turned pale when I heard her words. I thought I was going to be deprived of my bliss. I hurried to check on my computer, only to find out the situation was even worse. The computer she destroyed wasn't mine. This isn't my computer. It's my husband's work computer. When I said that, my mother-in-law's face went pale. Since I was feeling panicked, she was instantly able to tell I was telling the truth. But it's your fault I got this way. You made me have this misunderstanding, so it's your fault. And she tried to shift the blame on me. I started to panic. What? But you're the one who broke it. Even after saying that, she refused to admit it that was her fault. Anyways, this is all your fault. Tell that to my son. If you make me look bad in any way, I'll make sure you get kicked out of the house. You won't be able to survive without a job, you know. Who knows what'll happen to you? I wondered what to do after being threatened like this, but all I can do is be honest about what happened. Right now, I'm waiting for my husband to come home, scared. My mother-in-law seems to be in her room, so she is safe for now. What will happen when my husband comes home? My mother-in-law's outrageous behavior made me pale. Of course, it is 100% her fault, but I wonder how my husband will judge this situation. When my husband came home, I greeted him with a pale face. From that mood, my husband guessed something was wrong. "Did something happen today?" he asked me. Then my mother-in-law came into the room and joined in on the conversation. "Welcome home, sweetie. Something terrible did happen. Right, Ivy?" My mother-in-law was watching me like a hawk. I opened my mouth slowly in horror. "To tell you the truth, your computer broke, and it's my fault. I'm sorry. I always stayed in my room, and your mother was worried about me." My mother-in-law continued what I was saying. "Yeah, since it's not good to be cooped up so much, that's why I decided to disable the computer for Ivy's health. But it turns out, the computer I thought was Ivy was actually yours. Ivy was being confusing." She said this and made it sound like it was my fault. My husband's face grew paler and paler as he listened to our story, and when he saw the broken computer, he turned to us and said, "I'll ask one more time, but you're the one who broke it, right, Mom? But you meant to break Ivy's, right?" When he asked this, my mother-in-law's face lit up and she said, "Yes, that's right! I meant to break Ivy's computer, since playing games is not good for you, and since she doesn't even work, I thought this would get her to do things around the house." When my mother-in-law said that, my husband got a fearful look on his face. "In short, you tried to destroy Ivy's computer and take away her free time?" Lincoln started to question his mother, and it made her start to panic. "Well, it's not a bad thing, right? The wife has to take care of the house. She can't be playing on this machine all day. She's not a child. I don't want her to think she can stay at this house for free." She kept making excuses like this as if I was the one who was at fault and she wasn't in the wrong, but her words had no effect on my husband. "Ivy has been telling me all along. You're the one who's crazy, Mom. Ivy does so much around the house, much more than most wives. She follows your rules without complaining and does her best. And now you want to take away her free time? That's not right. And to go to the extreme of breaking someone's things is insane." Lincoln started scolding his mother. I was so happy when my husband realized that I couldn't defy her because of my position. On the other hand, my mother-in-law seems to be confused by the unexpected turn on events. "Why do you need to yell at me? It's Ivy's fault. She's the one who's been running away and staying in her room all day. I'm sorry for breaking your work computer, Lincoln." And like this, she tried to get her son on her side, but my husband was not having it. "That's enough. I'm worried about Ivy, so me and her are moving out of this house next month. You can stay here and do what you want. It would be less stressful to you and Ivy if we left." I thought I was dreaming when he made this unexpected suggestion. How could such a happy turn of events be possible? Of course, my mother-in-law tried her best to stop this from happening. "Don't you think you're taking it too far? I won't let you leave this house." She said this and flared her nostrils. "I can't think of any other solution than this. I'm sorry, but Ivy is the most important person in the world to me. I can't keep living with you if she is having a hard time. If you're truly sorry and apologize to Ivy, I'll think about sending you some money every month. I owe you for raising me, but there's no way we'll be living together anymore." My husband told his mother off, and I was so happy. Although he has heard it from me, he had never seen how bad his mother was until now. I think that's why he's trying hard to find reasons to move out of the house. Because my mother-in-law did such a terrible thing to me, I finally got my ticket out of this hell. My mother-in-law nodded at my husband's word and promptly apologized to me. "I'm sorry for blaming you, Ivy. I know I was in the wrong here, but I was afraid my son would hate me, so I wanted you to take the blame. I'm sorry for everything I've done, and I know I've been mean to you. I'll be careful from now on, so please forgive me." I never had someone apologize to me so directly before, and I was at a loss. I didn't know how to respond, but I knew I couldn't forgive her so easily. As if he understood what I was thinking, my husband came to my rescue. "Don't think she'll forgive you so easily just because you apologize. We'll see if you're truly sorry for what you did from your actions moving forward. We can't make a judgment right here and now. Anyways, we'll start living apart starting next month. I'll be observing your attitude, Mom." At my husband's words, my mother-in-law seemed to have given up on convincing him to stay at home. So, we finally decided to leave this house next month. Until then, we will have to live with my mother-in-law. However, this morning, she didn't even speak to me. She probably doesn't know what to say. I'm glad I don't have to talk to her. So, I'm just doing the housework, waiting for the time we can move out. I'm really excited to start a new life with my husband. My husband doesn't want me to feel guilty, so he tells me not to worry about his mom. But I will never forgive my mother-in-law for being meek with her actions. I, at least, won't be forgiving her anytime soon. Depending on how she reflects on her action, I will consider not breaking all ties with her. My husband and I would like to see what happens, but for now, I am filled more with excitement than worry. It has been a rough first year of our marriage, but I'm glad I will finally be saved from it.